Hello to anyone watching this video. I want to talk about something that, has been a very long battle, war, whatever you want to call it, against, which is lust. I remember when I first did it, I was like, man, this is great, like it makes me happy, it makes me feel better about it. And then I found God, and just I looked at myself, I was like, bro, what are you doing? And even with God, I still fell into lust. But if you're lusting, if you're still gooning, whatever they call it, you guys call it, if you're still doing that and you're Christian and you don't have any remorse of doing it, then you need to start, because it's not good for you. It's not a good thing. It's not good at all. Why? Because it makes you less of a person, makes you weaker, it makes you just not a real man to begin with. See, lust is a very powerful and unfair sin. By being powerful, it means it can destroy anything in its path. It can, if you fight it, you will lose. And if you fight it, you will lose. There's no winning against lust because it's so powerful. It's so strong that it will always win against your feelings. It will always win against you. If I mean unfair, I mean it will attack you whenever it wants. It will attack you, when you're laying in your bed all alone, when you're doing anything, when you see a girl, when you see a girl and it will attack you so unfairly. And that's how you lose. And lust completely destroyed my life. It made me suicidal. It made me so angry at myself, so angry at everything in my life. And there's nothing I hate more than it. I'm gonna tell you how I'm still on my journey, of destroying it. It's not destroying it, but ending it from my life. And I've been doing a lot better. I've just so much more results than back then me, So I want to talk about how to not destroy it, but overcome it, And for me, it was getting closer to God, and it was recognizing what I'm actually doing. So getting closer to God, lusting definitely drew me a lot farther away from God. And I didn't like that, because I could tell God was trying to, ruining things in my life, because I couldn't control my habit, I couldn't control my lust, and eventually I couldn't control myself. So God took some things away from me, and kind of ruined my time somehow. And I could tell that drove me away, that weakened my relationship between me and God. And that wasn't enough. I still doing it, and lust was still attacking me whenever I felt weak, and I always felt the lust. And God saw that. And so what I started doing was I made a prayer to God. And this prayer basically almost saved my lust career. Like I was destroying lust at this point, I said, God, I recognize your power, and please, if I give in the lust one more time, I want you to ruin my life. And once I said that, lust was so weak. I'm not saying it was so, okay, I mean it was so weak. I meant that I was so powerful that I didn't have any enjoyment from doing it anymore. I didn't have any reason to do it, because if I did it, I know the consequences. And yeah, and I stopped doing it. But everyone thinks the consequences of lust is the guilt feeling, the gut feeling after, when that a feeling of oh man, look what I just did, I need to lock in. That's not the punishment of lust. That's not what lust does to you. Do you know what the real cost of lust is? Your love life, your family, your future family, your future kids. Because every time you lust, God pushes you farther away from love. He pushes you farther away from the love of your life, and a family, and all these happy things that come in your life that eventually you would want. Because when God looks at you and says, damn, this guy is lusting still. He can't even control his own hands. He can't control his own body, his mind. So why would I give him a family? Why would I give him a loving wife? Why would I give him anything? Because if he can't even control himself. So that's what God does, and that basically, you know. And I remember my second girlfriend, dating for about a year, and I think the sole reason why we broke up was because of lust. Because I couldn't control my own hands, I couldn't control my body, and I did it as every time I possibly could because it felt right to me. Sorry for my washing machine in the back; it's kind of loud, but you know what I mean. But I think lust is the sole reason why we broke up, because it was so powerful. I couldn't control me. I couldn't control my own feelings, and eventually we broke up. And I think not because of my fault, not because of my acts, not because of her, not because of anything, but because I couldn't control my body, I couldn't control my lust, and that's why we broke up. But another thing is, it's kind of your recognition of what you're actually doing. Lust, not. The biggest reason is because you're not only ruining your body, ruining your mental state, but you're also ruining your future. Because God has this life, not this life, but this beautiful girl, his own daughter that he created carefully just for you, and you're ruining it. See, every time you do it, you're pushing yourself farther away from that girl, and from that happiness, and to become a time where you just lose that girl completely because you can't control yourself. And that's not what you want. You want to destroy lust. You want to run away from it because you know you can't win. So what are you gonna do? You gotta run. And it's okay to run. Wanna know why it's okay to run? Because it plays unfairly. It's too powerful, and it's unfair. It's not good for you. It doesn't play by the rules. It will hurt you. It will attack you at your weakest point. And say, oh, just one more time. God's on your shoulder saying, don't do it, son. We all know what is gonna happen. But then the devil's telling you, hey, just one more time, man. It won't do much. God, you won't even care. You won't even think about it. It'll feel so good, and then you do it. And that's saying, you're basically telling God that, oh, I choose the devil over you. That's basically what you're saying. And I'm not even exaggerating too. And another thing is, recognizing what you're doing, like I said a couple times, but recognizing that you're doing this to God's daughter. You're doing this to something that God has created. If God has created something, he obviously created it because it was good, because it was healthy, it was good. But you're just recognize what you're doing, that this is God's daughter. And it's okay whatever she's doing, whatever she's posting on the internet, and you're watching it. If she wants to do that life, then that's okay. That's how God created her. But God didn't create you to do that, to be one of those people that do that to her. So you need to recognize that God created this person. God created this image of her, and what you're doing is basically giving up, saying to basically losing the battle to the devil and using God's creations to win, to give to the devil. And is that what you really want? That's not what any Christian wants. If you want to be a real Christian, I say this with all respect. I say this because I'm the best Christian I could possibly be. I'm trying very hard, but I know I'm not the best Christian, obviously. But you need to just realize what you're doing. Realize that this is not okay. This isn't something to be justified. Because every time you do it, you're not pushing yourself away. You're pushing yourself away from your love, your future, and you're basically telling God that, no, I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm listening to the devil, your mortal enemy, your enemy that you sought to destroy. And I'm gonna tell him that no, you know, you're telling God no, I'm gonna listen to the devil. It's basically what you're saying. You know, because I am saying this, I will never lose to lust ever again. I will never fight it, and I will always run away. I will always run to God. I'll pick up the Bible and read it whenever I feel lust, because I will never lose to it. He can attack me anytime I want, but God gives me the strength to keep fighting against it. You know, I'm done with it, because I'm done, you know, making myself feel worthless, making my future wife, you know, pushing it farther away. I'm done letting my body win every single time, you know, and it might take a while, it might be hard. It's gonna be very hard, actually. But I want you to make that prayer saying that you let God ruin your life if you ever lust again, because that truly saved me. And you know, I'm just, you know, lust has been a pretty big part of why I started posting too. I didn't have any energy, motivation, you know. I just was so disappointed in myself. I was like, no, I can't even do this, you know. And I probably should have, but you know, it's just. But you know, hope you have a good day. You know, I'm gonna go sleep. It's 7:40. You know, I'm going to sleep anyway. I'll see you later. Peace out.